Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Theo Carver's Cameron Johnson hotel room was visited by Chad Demura, Billy Flynn, on Monday, July 24, and found Lonnie Grant, Salstowers, was missing, so Theo pushed Chad to distract him with some positive news. Chad provided updates on his new apartment with Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, which was going well until Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, moved in across the hall and became a nuisance. Although Chad said he was not scared by Alex and that Stephanie had made her decision, he was skeptical that Alex would ever understand the message. Stephanie opened the door for Alex, who returned the borrowed robe and stated he had it dry cleaned. Alex barged in nonetheless after Stephanie said she was simply sitting down to work. After Alex volunteered to brainstorm ideas with Stephanie and continued to ignore all of her indications to leave, she eventually inquired if he was honestly oblivious of how obnoxious he was being, or if he was just attempting to be a jerk. Stephanie wrote through a list of all the times Alex had transgressed boundaries, but he argued he was just being a good neighbor. Now that Stephanie had pointed out the flaw, Alex realized where he had gone wrong. Alex understood that he might be trying to prevent Chad and Stephanie from having the happy life that he had desired with her. Stephanie warned Alex to stop or they wouldn't be friends, and he heeded her warning. Despite Alex's belief that he would never have what Stephanie and Chad had, Stephanie emphasized that he was a catch and that the right person was still out there for him. Alex was mostly relieved that he didn't endanger his friendship with Stephanie, who reassured him before initiating a hug. Raf Fernandez, Galen Gehring, discovered Lonnie's feeble pulse by the docks on Monday's episode of Days, but she was unresponsive. Because there was a siren nearby, Sam Gerard of the United States Marshal's Office suspected Lonnie had overdosed on drugs. Rafe, on the other hand, dismissed the idea and clearly suspected foul play. Lonnie awoke briefly and said something about Daddy before Rafe and Jada Hunter, Ilya Kumtu, escorted her to the hospital. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, office received a phone call from John Black, Drake Hoteston, and learned that Abe Carver, James Reynolds, was alive and well in Whitley King's, Ken Cole's, apartment. Kayla Johnson, Mary Beth Evans, ran off to deal with a patient as Marlena told her the news. Lonnie was that patient, and she needed an antidote to the powerful sedative she was given. Kayla informed Rafe and Jada of Abe's survival and the fact that he was most likely still in Whitley's apartment at the time. Chad drove Theo to hospital shortly after learning that Lonnie had been located over the phone. Chad returned home and flipped out when he saw Alex with his arms around Stephanie. Chad yelled at Alex to get off Stephanie, but she replied that she initiated the hug following a conversation about limits. Alex appeared irritated, but he told Chad and Stephanie that he was cheering for them. After Alex left, Chad admitted to Stephanie that he had overreacted, and she agreed. Eli Grant, Lumen Archie, and Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, showed up in Lonnie's hospital room, so Lonnie groggily tried to tell them about Abe's survival. Kayla reappeared to corroborate the news, leaving Paulina in a state of shock. She removed the defective space heater that had killed her husband and their 3 pets due to carbon monoxide poisoning at Whitley's house. Whitley realized she wanted a second chance where her husband wouldn't be alone, so she handed Abe 3 toy kittens and offered to nap with him while the space heater ran. Marlena arrived and saw what was going on, so she tried to persuade Whitley that they needed to get out of there. Whitley threatened to light a lighter and blow up the flat while Rafe and Jada were inside. Marlena tried again and again to get Whitley to put down the lighter, but she finally gave in when Abe reached out and stroked her hand. When Jada called in and mentioned that she needed mental health care, Whitley assured her that they would get her some. Jada still had to arrest Whitley, so she read her rights to her. After Abe was wheeled into the hospital, an elated Paulina and an equally overjoyed Theo hurried to his side. Amnesic and drugged Abe was perplexed as to what was going on, but Theo and Paulina relished their reunion. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Abe's memories will return slowly, but his loved ones will be there for him every step of the way. CDL is the place to go for intriguing Days of Our Lives spoilers. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, the introduction of a previously forgotten character could imply something. Trip Johnson, Lucas Adams, mentioned Melinda Trask's, Tina Huang, daughter, Haley Chen, via media, in a conversation with Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, and Lai Shin, Remington Hoffman, in the July 25 episode. Days would have an interesting angle to work with because Lai looked impacted by the news that Melinda had lost a child. What if Haley Chen is still alive in secret? Could Lai be the person who reunites Melinda with her daughter in the future? Haley was dismissed. It was discovered days after the time leaked that Kristen Demura, Stacey Haydock, forced her to fall down a flight of stairs. Melinda was furious with Kristen for this, but Kristen had no intention of harming Haley. Is it possible that Haley survived after all, now that her name has reappeared? In a place like Salem, where people rise from the dead all the time, it's always a possibility. Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, Richard Wharton, may have been looking for a test subject for a new version of his serum, or he may have felt compelled to assist Kristen in reviving her victim if at all feasible. Of all, it's difficult to foresee the outcome when dealing with Dr. Rolf's mad technology, so Haley could have been frozen somewhere since then. Dr. Rolf's recoveries can take longer at times than others. Lai is familiar with Dr. Rolf, therefore he may be able to extract the truth from him at some point. If Lai can obtain information on where Haley may have been hidden, it might set the scenario for a surprise. However, Dr. Rolf could be apprehended while fleeing and use Haley as a bargaining chip. There's no better way to get off the hook than to return D.A. Trask's daughter. Naturally, Haley's reappearance would have an impact on Trip and Wendy's relationship. Trip's marriage to secure Haley's green card ended in divorce, yet he still fell for her during their time together. If Haley makes a miraculous comeback, Trip's affections for her could be reignited. Wendy's romance with Trip would be complicated, and she would finally experience what it's like to have some competition. Bottom line, if Haley Chen returned, there would be some interesting plot lines to follow, so maybe Days will make it happen sooner or later. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Lai could benefit from a path to redemption, thus reuniting Melinda and Haley could be a good act for him to perform. CDL will have more fantastic Days of Our Lives spoilers, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.